Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Murrow Minutes Goes Virtual for the spring 2021 semester. My name is Mackenzie Johnson, and I'm the recruitment coordinator for the Murrow College. And today we're talking all about registration. We have a couple of our Murrow ambassadors here with us today to share some of their tips and tricks here at the end of the video. But first, we're going to go over some of the really common things that students ask us as they get ready to register for classes. Enrollment dates, wait lists, the shopping cart. We're going to go over all of that here today. I'm going to share my screen, showcase the student side of myWSU, and then, like I said, we'll turn over to our Murrow ambassadors to talk about their tips and tricks. So with that, I will go ahead and start by sharing my screen, and we will get started with what this is going to look like, again, from the student side. So I have logged in to my.wsu.edu, and I'm on the student homepage, which is where we're going to be navigating to find enrollment times, different holds you may have on your account, and actually add classes to your shopping cart, as well as enroll once your enrollment date opens. So to start off, a couple things that I want to point out on this homepage. We're going to be working with two tabs specifically today. The first one is Manage Classes. Obviously, that's where we're going to be adding and dropping and working with the shopping cart. But the other piece that I want to make sure that everyone is aware of is this Tasks tab here. What it does here is it lists any holds that you have on your account that are going to prevent registration. So most of you are going to have an academic advising hold, meaning that you need to meet with your academic advisor, but you may have other holds, financial aid holds, athletic holds, anything that will prevent registration will show here. The nice part about this tab is that it also provides the contact information that you may need to remove that hold from your account. So navigate to there to find that information. Again, I'm not an active student at WSU, so I don't have any holds on my account at this time, but it's always a great idea to double check before your enrollment date opens. So now to get into a little bit about enrollment dates and how to actually add classes and navigate the system, we're going to click on the Manage Classes tab here. And as this loads, you'll see a couple of options here down the side. So we're going to talk about a couple of them specifically. First, like I keep mentioning, everyone has a specific enrollment date. So your enrollment date is when you're allowed to actually hit enroll for the classes that you've selected. Everyone's enrollment date is different because we like to space out when students are registering so the system doesn't break on us. So to find your enrollment date, you log into my.wsu.edu and you can click this enrollment date button here. I don't have access to enrollment at this time because I'm not a student, but everyone that's planning to be enrolled for fall 2021 and continue in their studies, or being a new student in fall 2021, you'll find your enrollment time here. That being said, one of the most important things that your advisors, that your mentors, that your professors will always tell you about registration is to register as soon as your enrollment time opens. If your enrollment starts on April 12th at 9 a.m., you should be on your computer at 9 a.m. ready to hit enroll in the classes that you've selected. If you decide to wait a couple days, that's fine. We're still going to let you enroll in classes, but you may not get the classes that you've selected, or most likely you're not going to get the time of the class that you've selected. So as long as you're enrolling right on your enrollment date, you have a higher chance of getting the time, day, instructor section of the class that you've originally chosen. So you've decided to enroll on time, you've removed all of your holds, you know exactly when you're going to enroll. But how do you do it? How do you actually go through this system and use the shopping cart and use the wait list in order to get the schedule that you want for fall 2021? Well, the first thing we'll discuss right now is that everyone's shopping cart is open. Mine is not because I'm not a student, but everyone's shopping cart is now open. And what this means is, just like at a grocery store, you can walk down all the different classes and see all the different classes that we offer and put as many of them as you want into your shopping cart, right? Maybe an accounting class, a business class, Murrow class, you can put them all in that shopping cart to essentially say, this is what I'm hoping to register for. What a lot of students don't realize, though, is that even though classes might be in your shopping cart, that's not necessarily reserving a seat for you in the class. It's more just a quick registration button for you, because then on your enrollment date, all you have to do is hit enroll because you've already selected everything you want in your cart. However, there's a fix for that. So the day before you're going to enroll, we recommend jumping into this shopping cart and saying, validate. There's a button there that says validate. And what that does is the system double checks to make sure everything you've put in your cart still has space, still the time's still available, the section wasn't canceled, and that there's no issues with the enrollments that you've selected. So we recommend highly that if you have put things in your shopping cart, you need to validate that pretty soon, right before you hit that enroll button during your enrollment time. Of course, as we'll discuss later, if you have questions about this, your academic advisor can certainly help you walk through this process. But what we want to do is kind of take a look at what it would look like to find a class, add it to your shopping cart, and then a few other reminders as you go through the rest of the enrollment process. So we really can't add anything to our shopping cart here. Mine is not active, so that makes sense. But what we can do is class search and enroll. So we would pick the term. Ideally, you're registering for fall 2021. And a lot of our students here in the Murrow College take COM 101, for example, for one of their introductory courses. So if we type COM 101, and hit search or hit enter, it's going to say, here are all the sections that we found with COM 101. So we click on this to see all of the available sections and times for fall 2021. Looks like there are 6 of them, and they all pulled up here. Now, the most important thing at this point in the registration process is the campus that you need to register for. We get a lot of students in traditional courses when we were face-to-face, but also during this virtual climate that think they can still register for different campus options. So if you're a global campus student, you have access to section 1 and section 2. But if you're a Pullman campus student, even if the classes are still virtual, we need you to enroll in the Pullman section. So not all of these 6 options are actually available to everyone. It is organized by campus. So make sure you're paying attention to that, or you're going to get an error on the day of your enrollment. So with that, again, I'm not a student, so typically what you would see here is an option to add specific sections to your shopping cart. So or on the day of your enrollment date, you could actually hit enroll in that class, but everyone, kind of getting ahead of the game, we're going to add some things to the shopping cart. So if I was a student, I would hit add. And then if I go back to my shopping cart, I would see COM 101 sitting right here. And then again, probably just a few hours before I actually hit enroll, I'm going to validate my shopping cart to make sure everything I've selected still works. Also, what this allows you to do is that if a section has filled up, you can go find another section before actually hitting enroll during your enrollment time. So it's always a great idea to validate right before you hit enroll, so you're not panicking trying to find different sections as different enrollment dates are opening up after yours. Something else that as an academic advisor and our advising team here in the Murrow College always wants to remind students is that as your class searching and enrolling, whether it's this COM 101 class or any of the other classes on the WSU campus, something that you always want to do is that if there's a wait list option available, you always want to check that button. You always want to say, yes, if this class fills up by the time I enroll, I want to be automatically added to that wait list. If you don't select that button, that's fine, but just know that if the class fills up, you're not going to be automatically added to that list. So I suggest clicking it for every single class, just in case. You may not need it, but that way, like I said, in case it fills up, you have the option to be on that wait list and be moved in as we open up additional seats. So with that, we kind of went over the enrollment, the shopping cart, wait list, everything that you really need to know for fall 2021. The biggest question I think that our students have, both incoming and current students, is what is fall 2021 going to look like as far as classrooms? At this time, we are still navigating the social distancing protocols put in place by both Pullman, Washington State, and the national government. So at this time, we don't have any classrooms assigned to our spaces. However, we will have those posted over the summer. So you're welcome to add and enroll and register for all of the courses that you need, but just know when you go to say, view my classes, obviously I'm not registered for any, but when you view your classes, the location for that class is not going to be listed at this time. It might say something like TBA, it might be just a random kind of class across campus or just a placeholder, and we will update all of that over the summer session. Finally, what I want to mention for our incoming students for fall 2021, you're not going to have access to a lot of this information until you attend your live orientation program over the summer. So what that means is over your live orientation, that's when you're going to be meeting with your academic advisor and removing some of the other holds that you're going to have on your account as an incoming student. Once you've met with your advisor and removed those other holds, then you'll have access to this program to add things to your cart, to automatically enroll that day, to drop classes, to browse the catalog. Everything will open up for you on that day. But until then, this is more for our current students here in the months of April and May as we move through the semester. And then our incoming students will register over the summer sessions. A couple other buttons here on our Manage Classes tab, a little more complicated to use, but certainly available to you. You could certainly browse the course catalog if you just wanted to see all of the classes that we offer. If you accidentally registered for a class that you don't want to take anymore, you can drop your classes here. The one button maybe to be a little careful with is the withdraw from current term. Of course, it's going to ask you for several confirmations before you get through that, but you just want to make sure that you don't accidentally withdraw from your current term as you're trying to register for a future term. So with that, that's a little bit of an overview of our student homepage and some advice from both a staff member, some of our faculty members here in the Murrow College about the best ways to get the seats and the sections and the classes that you want for upcoming semesters. Now, I have talked for quite a bit and gone over a lot of information, but the other thing I want to make sure that you all are aware of is that the registrar's office here at WSU has a great video about how to add classes to your shopping cart. It actually can go through and show you what that's going to look like from start to finish. So if this short video wasn't enough to kind of explain that process, no worries. You can either work with your academic advisor or use the video here on the registrar's website, and we'll post that in the information below on this video. The transcript is also here, so if you're unable to watch the video, you can read through the instructions here as well. They do a great job at explaining that, so I want to make sure that you have the opportunity to look through this before your enrollment time opens either this week or next week. All right, with that, now that we've gone through again how to find your holds, how to use the shopping cart, how to find your enrollment date, kind of our big major 3 questions we get in our office. And I'm going to turn it over to our Murrow ambassadors who are going to share some of the tips and tricks that they've learned as they've registered through multiple semesters here at WSU and at Murrow. So Shelby, if you want to begin by maybe introducing yourself and then sharing some tips with us.
Hi everyone, I'm Shelby Anderson and I am a junior majoring in advertising here in the Edward R. Murrow College of Communication. And a couple tips that I have is one being that you should definitely make sure you meet with your academic advisor in plenty of time before enrollment dates start, which is in about a week or a couple days or so, 4 or 5 days, I think it's the 12th. And so make sure you meet with them so that way you don't have any holds on your account and you can register how Mackenzie was explaining really easily and with no panics or lots of ease. And another one would be make the process easier by adding those classes into your shopping cart with ample time. So that way you can even go back and check up until the time that you're registering and kind of see how many spots are left and if you'll need to get in a different section and able to take that class in the next semester.
Fantastic. Thank you, Shelby. I appreciate you mentioning meeting with your advisor well before your enrollment date. Our advisors are really booked right now because they've been meeting with people all the way through March and through these past couple of weeks. They'll still be meeting with students through the rest of the semester and summer, as always. But again, meeting with them as soon as possible every semester helps guarantee that you can enroll on time and that you don't have any other issues on your account that they can help you review. So thanks for sharing. That's fantastic. Dana, I'm going to turn it over to you if you want to introduce yourself and share some tips with us.
Hi everyone, I'm Dana Vlasevich. I'm a sophomore and I am majoring in public relations and minoring in hospitality business management. A few things that really help me, I find, is writing down your schedule on a blank piece of paper. I think it helps to visualize, for me at least, when my classes are, and it also makes it easier so you don't overlap any classes because you can't be enrolled in 2 different classes at the same time. Also, like with making your own schedule, you have flexibility to put classes when you want them, and it's really awesome to like make your day the way that you want. So if you know that you're not a morning person and you might miss those classes, don't schedule 9 o'clock, 8 a.m. like 10 o'clock classes, because you want to make sure you're putting your best foot forward. And also in Com 138, they do a really cool thing where they plan out your whole schedule for your next like 4 years, and that's something that I still use every single time I go to my advisor and I talk with them. So really taking that seriously will help you in enrollment for the rest of your college career, as well as when you are meeting with your advisor. They will give you a lot of super helpful classes that you would want to take, electives and things that you might have not known before. So making sure you write those down and take note of them so that you can look back at them later when you're actually enrolling for the class.
Wow, all great tips from Dana as well. I love the idea of writing out your schedule because since a lot of you can't enroll yet, you're not really sure what those classes might look like together, especially since our current students will remember and will introduce to our incoming students, our schedule is written in military time. So a lot of students have trouble saying, hey, are these classes overlapping? I can't remember what time that was. So writing it out is actually very, very helpful. I know a couple of my students actually in the past have found online programs where they completely free online programs where they can go in and enter their classes and see when they might overlap. Those aren't WSU system programs. They're just free online programs that you can use. So feel free to check those out as well. But then also the Com 138 plans for our current students that are moving forward in the Murrow programs. Hopefully all of you have kept track of those Com 138 plans. They may have changed a little bit as you go through your Murrow curriculum, but that's okay. It at least gives you a guideline as to what classes you need to take and what's coming up. For our incoming students for fall 2021, Com 138 is a required class that you'll be taking with us here in the Murrow College. And like Dana said, one of the most important parts of that class is creating a graduation plan. So whether you're a transfer student, whether you're an incoming student from high school that has college credit, we're going to work with you to create an individualized graduation plan that you can then refer to for however long you're here with us. And keeping track of that is definitely a great idea. Finally, the last tip that I'll add too, it's always great to get feedback from peers as to what classes they've taken, as far as electives or Murrow professors that they've really liked. And that's a great way to kind of help build your schedule as well. So if you are looking for peer feedback and you don't know where to start, we highly recommend coming to our Murrow Minutes sessions, which are every Wednesday from 3 to 5 p.m. And our lovely Murrow ambassadors are actually there to answer any questions you have about, what classes to take, advice about how to build a schedule, maybe even walking through myWSU if you're confused about how to use that system. Please know, ambassadors can't remove holds. They also can't tell you what's required to graduate. That's something that you need to meet with your academic advisor about. But if you do need peer assistance, you just want someone to give feedback on what you've done, feel free to drop into those hours, whether you're an incoming student or a current student, and our ambassadors would be happy to chat with you. So with that, we will go ahead and close out this video so you have plenty of time to review other videos on the registrar's website, jump on and schedule an appointment with your academic advisor, or start viewing our fall 2021 classes to make sure you can set up your schedule in the way that works best for you. So we will sign off by reminding you to drop into Murrow Minutes if you have questions, sign up for an appointment with your advisor, or go to their drop-in hours if you have questions about graduation timelines. And other than that, we will see you all in our next future Murrow Minutes Goes Virtual episodes. And as always, Cougs, stay safe and stay healthy.